Have you ever felt that intense sting of jealousy when someone else gets praised and you don't? It's a powerful, almost primal feeling, isn't it? Well, this feeling is at the very heart of one of humanity's oldest stories. A tale of two brothers that sets the stage for some of life's biggest questions about envy, anger, and what it means to be responsible for one another. Today, we're diving deep into the story of Cain and Abel. This story begins right after Adam and Eve have been exiled from the Garden of Eden. They have two sons, Cain, the firstborn, who becomes a farmer, a tiller of the ground, and Abel, his younger brother, who becomes a shepherd. They represent two foundational ways of life, agriculture and pastoralism. Both are working the land, trying to make a living in this new, more difficult world outside of paradise. One day, both brothers decide to bring an offering to God. Cain brings some of the fruit of the soil, the produce he has worked hard to grow. Abel, on the other hand, brings the firstborn of his flock, specifically the fat portions, which were considered the best parts. The text says that the Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering, he did not look with favor. Now, the Bible doesn't explicitly state why God favored Abel's offering over Cain's. This has been debated for centuries. Some scholars suggest it's about the attitude of the heart, that Abel gave his very best with a pure heart, while Cain's offering was perhaps given grudgingly or without the same reverence. Others point to the nature of the offerings themselves, a blood sacrifice versus a crop offering. Whatever the reason, the result is what truly matters for the story. Cain becomes furious, his face downcast. He is consumed by anger and jealousy. And this is where God steps in, not with immediate punishment, but with a warning and a choice. He speaks directly to Cain, asking him, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." This is one of the most powerful moments in the entire Bible. God is essentially giving Cain a spiritual pep talk. He's acknowledging Cain's feelings, but also empowering him. He's saying, "Look, I see you're struggling. This feeling of sin, of envy, it's like a predator waiting to pounce. But you have the strength to overcome it. You can be its master." God isn't condemning Cain. He's trying to guide him back to the right path. He's offering a way out of the darkness that is consuming him. But Cain doesn't listen. He allows the anger and resentment to fester. The story then takes a dark and tragic turn. Cain says to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." And while they are in the field, away from everyone, Cain attacks his brother Abel and kills him. The first act of violence between humans is an act of fratricide, brother against brother, born out of jealousy. The sin that was crouching at the door has now been let in, and it has destroyed a life. Immediately after, God's voice returns, this time with a haunting question. "Where is your brother Abel?" God already knows the answer, of course. He's giving Cain an opportunity to confess, to take responsibility for his actions. But Cain's response is cold, defiant, and famous. "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" This question, "Am I my brother's keeper?" echoes through history. It's the ultimate denial of responsibility. Cain is not only denying his crime, but also denying his fundamental connection and duty to his fellow human being, his own brother. The answer, which the story implies, is a resounding yes. Yes, we are responsible for one another. We are interconnected, and our actions have profound effects on those around us. God then reveals that he knows exactly what happened. He says, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." This is such a poetic and powerful image. The innocent bloodshed has a voice. It cries out for justice. The very earth is now stained by this act of violence. As a consequence, God places a curse on Cain. He says, "Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." Cain, the farmer, is now cursed from the very ground he used to cultivate. His connection to his livelihood and his home is severed. He is condemned to a life of exile and wandering, a life without roots, constantly moving, never finding a place of rest. Hearing his sentence, Cain is filled with despair. He cries out, "My punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." Cain is not so much remorseful for his sin as he is terrified of the consequences. He's afraid of being an outcast, vulnerable to revenge from others. And here, in a final twist of mercy, God shows a measure of grace. He doesn't revoke the punishment, but he does offer protection. He puts a mark on Cain, not a mark of shame, but a sign to prevent anyone from killing him. God says that anyone who harms Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over. So Cain is sent out into the land of Nod, east of Eden, which literally means the land of wandering. So what can we take away from this ancient and intense story? First, it's a profound warning about the destructive power of jealousy and unchecked anger. It shows how these feelings, if we let them, can lead us down a path to terrible actions we can never take back. God's conversation with Cain before the murder is a reminder that we always have a choice. We have the capacity to master our darker impulses. Second, it establishes the fundamental idea of social responsibility. Cain's question, "Am I my brother's keeper?" is answered by the entire narrative. Yes, we are. We have a duty of care and compassion towards each other. Indifference and selfishness can be just as destructive as outright violence. And finally, even in the face of the most horrific sin, the story shows a glimmer of God's mercy. Cain is punished, yes, but he is not utterly destroyed. God protects him, allowing life to continue even for the one who took it. It's a complex portrayal of justice and mercy coexisting. The story of Cain and Abel is not just an old tale. It's a mirror reflecting our own struggles with envy, anger, responsibility, and our relationship with both God and our fellow human beings. It challenges us to look inside ourselves and ask, when we feel that sting of jealousy, will we let sin crouch at our door? Or will we choose to master it? Will we ask, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Or will we live out the answer? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of the Bible's most foundational stories. If you found this reflection meaningful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.